No, but I'm not confident enough.
Just say yeah, bitte.
Yeah, bitte.
Thanks for everyone joining. This is actually our last working day in the year, more or less, give or take. Not for parts and logistics, I've realized that, but for most of us. And so I thought I'll take the opportunity to exchange a few thoughts that I had over the last few weeks with you and a few observations that I made, because this is a good opportunity to close the outgoing year and start fresh in 2024. You probably realize or remember that I said at the Christmas party, our goal is to become the greatest aviation company in the world. I understand this is quite an ambitious goal. And to be honest with you, even I have sometimes my challenges memorizing that or imagining that what that means. A few weeks ago, David and where's Wolfgang? Not here, okay. David, Wolfgang and I were in Arizona to participate on a training from Andy Elliott, that guy who was on the screen over the last few days. And I'm following Andy now since quite a while, and he's a very, very interesting character. And when you are with him and you see how those people interact and the company, how they are, it's super impressive. Not that just everyone is jacked, but how they behave and what they have built over the last few years. The company exists since 3 years and that does 150 million turnover, and the vision that they have is 3 million in the next 4 years. So I thought, well, there's probably something to learn there for us, because I believe, and that is a learning that I've made way past 30, you don't have to make every mistake on your own. There's probably someone who could show you the way. And Andy is certainly or one of them. And we will attend over the next 12 months or next few months trainings online and virtually, just to get a better idea in which direction we would like to go. Because, as I said, our goal is ambitious. And during our training there was one guy speaking, Keaton Hoskins, probably, Thomas, you know him, he's part of the Diesel Brothers of Discovery Channel. But he's not doing any more TV or just a little. What he mainly does is coaching and mentoring. And he, over the last 10 years, he made himself he did well for him, let's say so. So he flew in his own H-125 helicopter, which was landing in the parking lot there, because it's the US, you could do that. And one thing that's where I really have thought about it was Keaton was saying, the most important thing that we have is our health, which is obvious, huh? And that kind of health rests on 5 pillars. We have our physical health, we have our mental health, we have our emotional health, our spiritual, and our financial. Well, obviously the bedrock of everything is our physical health, because when we are sick, the only thing we are interested is getting back well. So this is the basis for everything. And when you look at companies, how they act, then they usually just focus on the financial part, which is kind of putting the cart before the horse, when you ask me. And that is also the reason why we have, for example, our healthy catering. That is the reason why we subsidize that, because I think it's very important that we eat healthy to be healthy. It's important for me. That's the reason why we have our gym. Regarding the gym, no, we haven't communicated it clearly, because for me it was something obvious. You could use it during working hours, so that's perfectly fine for everyone. And at least my experience is when I've worked 4 or 5 hours through, and I'm exercising for half an hour, so I could pull another 4 or 5 hours. Not that it's needed, but it's with the exact same energy. So this makes absolute sense to do it, and it's covered. If you spend 6 hours a day in the gym, probably we have to talk about excessive use. But like everything, if we excessively use it, then we need to regulate it or to find a solution. But usually, I guess you get what I mean. Because I also believe when we are healthy and when we are energized and we're in good shape physically and mentally, then we have excessive energy. We could help each other. Where does our positive or our additional energy goes? It goes to the outside. It goes to the surroundings, and we humans are social beings, so we need each other. If we just stuck on our own for long enough, we get crazy. So that's a community is something that the need for community is something within us, something that we need. Together we could reach everything we do faster, better, stronger, more easy than when anyone needs to carry his load on his own. Understand, during the pandemic, we all have unlearned that a bit. I can only speak for me, but when I reflect on myself, I became a bit of antisocial. I became a bit more egocentric and looked more out for me and what feels right for me. But what feels right isn't necessarily always what's the best alternative. And I think it also has hurt our sense of community, our sense of that we are actually more than the sum of our individualisms. And I think together we could do much more. We could be more and pull in the same direction than when everyone is just thinking about himself. Does anyone know what the Belgian draft horse is? I didn't expect that. The Belgian draft horse is considered the strongest horse that you could have. One Belgian draft could pull up to 4 tons. The interesting thing is when you have 2 Belgians put together, they can put up to 3 times as much. And the interesting thing is, if those 2 horses know each other, they could pull up to 4 times the weight of 1 horse. Means when you know your community, you are able to perform more. Not that we are all horses, but I could observe the same for me. I guess most know, but I try to keep myself in shape with CrossFit. CrossFit are community workouts, so you rarely do it on their own. So there's always a workout written on the whiteboard, and when you look at the workout, they are just hard. They are just, when you read them, when you see them, you just think, never. In that time, I never could do that, and I think Fahad could agree, because I take him once with me, and he was suffering for a week or so.
2 weeks.
But actually, when you're in it, because you're doing it together, you just pull each other up. You just motivate and inspire during work. It's probably a strong word, but you get far more than when you do it on your own. Far more. I mean, at the end of the day, you're exhausted, but you are happy that you have pulled something off, which was really tough. And that was also part of the reflection where I thought, well, probably we are not ideally when we're just on our own. Think about a soccer team, football, at least not the European term. Imagine of 11 star players and they never play together. How good would they be in a championship? I doubt that they would win it. So we have to be on the same playing field, at least most of the time. We have created here over the last months an outstanding work environment. There are rarely any offices who are as nice as and who have as much options as the one that we have. So I think we should use it more. I think for the time now, being in the home office for so much isn't the right approach for us anymore. I looked up the home office days that we have spent last year. Does anyone throw a guess? It was 2,000 home office days. That's the equivalent of 10 full-time employees. That's half of the group that's here, that's not there, constantly. And I think that's wrong. I think a team cannot work together if half of the team is just not present. How should this work? And as such, I want to limit for 2024. For some it's probably good news, for some it's bad news. The use of home office to 1 day per week. Doesn't mean that we cannot make exemptions. Doesn't mean that people who always worked from home, where it was a general agreement, looking to your direction, that this would be the case. That's not what I'm talking about. Doesn't mean that when you say you want to work a week from Croatia, this will not be possible. What I want to say is that home office becomes the exemption, not the rule. Home office should not be, I got up a bit late, I'm staying in my pajamas today, let's just stay at home. That's not, probably also not the right attitude towards your work. I think when I'm at work, and I've realized that when Melita started the company, I'm taking on a completely different persona. I'm here not the same like at home, by far not. So that working persona works best in the working environment. As I said at the beginning, I believe, and that is my core belief, that we can become the greatest aviation company in the world. And to become the greatest, you must be the most outstanding. And when we look how we can be outstanding, then it is as a group. As a group we could lead, we could create outstanding things, because we will help each other. Not as lone fighters. There's hardly any companies who consists of lone fighters who really got successful on the long run. I think as a team, we should feel responsible for each other. I think we should also, and not I think, it's actually we should also take care about our surroundings. And I also, that was a realization for myself, because I've identified it with me. When we take care about our surroundings, why, for example, don't we take out the trash cans? They're flowing over since Wednesday. Why? And it's always the case, because we started to ignore it. We started to focus on ourselves instead of the rest. When we take care about our surroundings, why is the billiard stuff there just on the board? Huh? Why don't we take care about that? We would not do this at home. So why should we accept for ourselves, where this is where we spend most of the day, at least when we're not in the home office, why we should limit our standards here than at home? And I think that's a realization for me. If we do this, then we become a whole different company. When we go back to the pre-COVID mindset, as a team, as a group, we can do extraordinary things. And I was thinking about who would be a good role model for us. And in ancient Greece, there was one outstanding state, which is Sparta. And the Spartans were known for their unbeatable army. So, besides they were training from 8 years onwards, so probably who has seen the movie 300 knows what I'm talking about. That's actually a true story. And but one reason why the Spartans have been so successful is because they had the phalanx. It was their shield wall. And in a Spartan phalanx, everyone covers with his shield the side of the right man behind him. So half of their protection was for someone else. And if we do that, look out more for us, look out for our environment and for the people left and right from us, then we also can become unbeatable. In this spirit, I'm looking forward to 2024. I'm looking forward to a new year of growth. I'm looking forward to a year of a new spirit, for each other. And when you reflect 2023, what we have done, where we have been last year at this time, how everything looked around, how many people we have got together, I think we've achieved something this year. And as such, I'm incredibly proud to be part of this group. And let's never stop getting better. And in this spirit, I wish you all Merry Christmas.